Careless smoking could kill you and your family. Don't become a fire statistic.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Cougar House Garage. Paul and I today are going to be cutting out pieces for the Atlas crossmember. We cut out a couple pieces last night, but we need to finish cutting out the pieces for the upper piece that actually bolt on to the Atlas, and then that will bolt on to the polyurethane bushing that's OEM, and then we'll build the lower crossmember off of that. So Paul and I are going to get in the engineering PC here, start designing up some parts, pulling tape on the truck and the Atlas, and we're going to go ahead and design up and plasma cut out a Cougar House Fab Atlas crossmember. So join us for the fun. Cue the music. Let's do this. Alright guys, it's like 12:30. We've been up since, we're out here since about 11 o'clock this morning. You know, we got the upper piece of the Atlas transfer case Cougar House Fab mount done. We'll get this cleaned up and welded together tomorrow, and then I've got the lower piece of the cross member all cut, or all designed up and ready. I just got to input it and then cut it out. So we'll catch you guys in the morning and we'll continue working on this cross member. See you guys then. We're so beat. Ugh. Hey guys, back at it this morning, back in the garage. Picking up where we left off yesterday, Paul and I started designing up some parts. I made up the inner skeletal piece that'll be the inner piece of the cross member here. And then we got the rest of it designed up in the engineering PC, so we're going to go ahead and get into there, set the tool paths on that so we can get that cut out on the plasma table, and we can get this welded together. So let's get started guys. Cue the music. right, guys, that's where I'm going to call it tonight. It's about 11 o'clock. We started out here about 10 o'clock this morning. So we got all those pieces cut out for the cross member. And so now that's ready for us to weld that together tomorrow. It's just too late to do that. We want to be awake and full of energy to do those welds. So we're going to move on to that in the morning, guys. And get that welded together. And then we'll bolt it on the truck, bolt it on the Atlas. And then we'll get the whole truck dropped down and we'll measure for compression for the driveline, ride height for the driveline, and max extension for the driveline. I don't know why my air system does that. It'll be completely drained and all of a sudden air will come. But alright guys, I'll catch you guys in the morning.
To forget all that we had. I'm rolling like water in the sea. The memories crashing into me. So close to the edge of something so worth it. You have the world right at your feet. It almost is all we'll ever be. We can't get any Let me go. Left me in this mess I'm falling. Never know. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. Couldn't get any closer. Can't find a reason why. We couldn't get any closer.
What's up? I'm talking to you guys through my GoPro because all three of the Sony A6300 batteries are dead. It was unplugged to plug in one of the snap-on drills. So here we are, we're just about to start tearing down the truck. But before we do that, we have to weld together the transmission cross member that we cut out and made yesterday, in the past few days, and get that fully welded up. Yesterday we were out of anti-spatter, so Derek wanted to pick some up this morning on his way in. So we're going to go ahead and get that welded up and installed, and then we need to measure for our drive lines, for the front one for Tom Woods, and then for the rear one for Olympia drive line. And then I apologize about the sound quality because it's on my GoPro, but we'll get those batteries charged here, and we'll actually get that welded up, like I was saying, and then we're going to start tearing down this truck, go to powder coating. Finally, we're able to do it. So, let's get started.
We couldn't get any closer. We couldn't get any closer.
Hey guys, good morning. Another day in the shop. Derek and I are working on right where we left off yesterday, and we're got the front axle ready to be torn down, and now we're moving on to the rear axle. We're getting ready to pull off the U-bolts and stuff, and then gonna pull off some of the brake components so we can get the emergency brake cables off of it, and then we're gonna go ahead and raise the whole truck up in the air so that way we can tear down these axles without being hunched over under the truck. We can have it way up and out of the way. So we're gonna go ahead and get that stripped off there, and then go ahead and start stripping these axles, guys. We got a lot of work to do to do that. Like, we got to do off, you know, brake caliper, rotor, unit bearing, knuckle, pull out the ball joints, pull out the ring and pinion, knock all that out, the bearing races, and then we got to do these big bushings on the axle. Those are going to be a little bit of a challenge. We're going to probably have to drill a hole in the rubber on the side and then run a Sawzall around them and then cut out the outer ring, kind of like you would like a bad bearing race or something like that. So let's get started, guys. Cue the music. I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update here. We got the rear axle, you know, completely stripped down. Pulled the carrier and stuff out of it. It's over here. That's what it looks like in there. Pulled out the front pinion piece, which is that right there. And now there's a couple spots that Derek wants to go over the axle, that he's not satisfied with the quality of the welds, which is super cool. That's what we've been going through everything and making sure everything's up to Cougar House Fab's quality. So he's gonna hit a couple, grind out a little bit, and then we're gonna move on to stripping the Ford 05 Plus Super Duty axle, which is gonna be really easy, except for these. These bushings are going to be really stiff. Like, you can see it poking out the back of the cast and that. So there's a couple different options. We've thought about fire, but most likely we're going to have to drill a hole in the side there between the bushing and the mount, and then Sawzall around it, and then beat the steel liner into a crease like you would, you know, a freeze plug or a bushing for, you know, a lower control arm and an axle. You do the same thing. So we'll see, but we're going to go ahead and get that done, and then we'll move on to stripping this front axle. Hey guys, let me give you guys a little bit of an update. Paul and I got the axle totally stripped off, pinning out of it. We're stripped out. We got everything stripped out of it except these big radius arm bushings that go on the side. Those are crazy. But everything else is stripped and ready here. So what we're gonna have to do is take these axles to another machine shop. Loud noises. Take these axles to a shop in the morning, drop them off there so they can push those bushings out. It's like a $500 tool to get to do that, and it's going to take a week and a half to get it. We don't have time for that, so we're going to go drop that off at a shop tomorrow, and then Eric will probably pick it up for them, or maybe we will, and then we'll take it over to Forever Powder Coating, and then it can get joined, everything else. But all these other parts here, they've got enough parts to sandblast and work on. It's going to take a couple days. There's only one sandblaster there. It's not like they have 3 or 4 guys that sandblast. So we're going to, and then in the morning we got to bust the ball joints out of those. That's super easy. And then right now Paul is, what the loud noises were, Paul's over here drilling the holes for the cross member right now, using the cross member as a guide, getting those drilled out. And then, you know, that was our last part that we needed to complete, was the Atlas cross member before we could take everything in powder coating. So we're set up pretty good here. We're gonna get those drilled, and in the morning we're gonna come into the garage, push those ball joints out of the knuckles, and then we're gonna load everything up to go to Forever Powder Coating. So we're gonna go ahead and get these holes drilled, and then clean up, and we'll catch you guys soon. Alright guys, all finished up. Got all the parts off the truck. Like I was saying, tomorrow we gotta drop the Super Duty axle off at a shop that can push out those large polyurethane bushings for the radius arms. And then everything else is ready. That we can take it over to Forever Powder Coating and drop it off now. It's been a lot of time to do this, you know, going through 4 different employees to help me really put a damper on this project, really brought it behind months and months and months more than it should have taken us. But what can I tell you? I mean, when you hire people and then they quit on you, and you hire somebody else and they quit on you too, it's like, what can you do until you find the right employee that's invested in something like this and enjoys doing something like this at Cougar House? You know, it was pretty hard, but now I found Derek. He's a damn good welder, and he really loves coming over here. And then my friend Paul, I hired him. He's super cool. You know, he was a staff sergeant in the Army, so he had plenty of people under him. He understands how to do things right and be professional and get things done within a certain amount of time and all those good things with being professional and helping run a business. So it's cool to have Paul on board. Now we're going to move forward. We should be able to get a lot more done now. Have a lot better future for Cougar House. So that'll feel good. But yeah, we're here, guys. We made it. If we wouldn't have had to lower the truck all over again, But you know, you got to do what your customer wants. They wanted to drop from 12-inch to 6-inch, so. But I'm pretty proud of us for only taking, you know, a month and a half to get it from that down to the 6-inch height and prototype the 6-inch lift kit. So I'm pretty proud of us for it. So, but all right, guys, I'll catch you guys in the morning. We'll get those ball joints popped out of the knuckles, and then we'll load everything up in Derek's Dodge, and then we'll drive it all up. We'll drop the axle off. We'll take everything up to forever powder coating, and then we'll drop off the wheels and tires as well at Tire Dog so they can get dismounted. Eric's going to pick those up on this coming Wednesday, and then because that's his first day off of the week is Wednesday, and then he'll get those dropped off at the powder coater as well, because you know they're going to have these axles for at least 2 days in the grease tank before they stick them in the oven to bake them, pre-bake them to get all the grease out of them before they even sandblast them. So, but all right, guys, we'll catch you guys in the morning. Thanks for listening to me.